Hi guys, as you may have noticed, I missed last week for a couple of reasons. If you follow my Facebook page, then you would have already known that, but if you're just on my YouTube, then I guess you figured it out for yourself. So speaking of Facebook page, if you want to, you can like my page, Justine Stream, and I post the weekly videos, and sometimes I make other posts and links to my blog and stuff like that. But anyway, last week was crazy. I'm just kind of getting over a cold right now. And I had a really huge event. I had my CD release party here in my hometown. So that was a really big deal. And I just had to take the week off basically from strenuous work and anything that took up a lot of energy. I really had to conserve my energy. So that's why I didn't do a video last week. So this week, I'm back. We're going to do the daily guidance from your angels oracle cards, and Doreen and Virtue used this deck for this week's reading as well, so I'm kind of curious. I'm just going to focus here and ask that all the messages that come through will somehow benefit everyone who watches, and everyone will get their own unique message from these cards as well. So we're setting that positive intention. And for the beginning of the week, we have relationship. This came up for me personally today as well, so that's kind of funny. This is a reminder that all of your relationships stem from your relationship with yourself, with your higher self, with Source, Spirit, God, whoever you want to refer to. And sometimes we lose sight of that. You know, we can get really lost in what's going on in our friendships and relationships, work relationships, whatever, you name it. And a lot of those issues we forget stem from inside. So if you're having an issue with someone else, you know, yes, other people have issues within themselves too. We all have wounds. But, you know, things are always being shown and reflected to you for a reason. Things are mirrored to you and they show up in your life to teach you about you and to remind you to connect to your higher self, to step out of your ego self, you know, to take time to just focus on things that are other than the material world here in the physical, right? Because there's so much more. There's so many more dimensions that we're connected to at all times. It's not all about this physical reality, and things do manifest in this physical reality to remind us to, you know, work on all of these other layers and levels that we're operating on. So if you're having any kind of difficulties in any of your relationships, and even if you're just being hard on yourself, remember that everything stems from you. And if you need help healing inside and healing your relationships, to call on your angels, call on a light and loving energy. As I always say, call on whoever or whatever resonates with you, Source, Spirit, God, Divine, Universe, you name it. Because that's the stem of everything. And as I've said before, this card shows that there's light over here and that it's kind of leaving, you're kind of leaving this dark period, this dark time. And I've been saying for quite some time now that we are making this transition, and we are really going through an intense transition right now. In October, there's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to have a lunar eclipse, lots of eclipses going on, and I've been watching a lot of astrology videos, so feel free to check those out if you feel called to. And it just describes what's going on energetically. So there's just a lot of shifts going on. And anytime we have a Mercury retrograde, which is coming up as well in October, there's a lot of shifts, a lot of stuff for us to look at. And it's just, again, a reminder to shed all the crap that we really don't need, to let go of the past, and we're really being guided to step forward. So lots of things are changing. I'm going to be traveling soon enough, so it's, you know, it's tough. We're going through a lot of changes right now, and that shows up in the physical, but it's also going on emotionally and on so many levels. But anyway, call on help if you feel that you need it, and it will be there for you. The message for the middle of the week is assertiveness, which I'm also really feeling. It is so important to be assertive with others and to be assertive with what you want. And there's a huge difference between being assertive and being aggressive. And something I've been feeling over the past few days is that it's not about just chewing someone out. Like I said earlier, we all have our own wounds and we all have our own scars and our own issues. So even if you're having a problem within some sort of relationship and you feel like getting mad at someone because of how they're acting, it's much better to come from the approach of, okay, stepping out of it and seeing what the underlying issue is and how that pertains to you and what's going on within you. As I said, there's always a lot of mirroring going on. And it is absolutely okay and necessary and healthy to be assertive and to speak about how you feel. And if someone is doing something to you in a relationship, whether it's conscious or not, intentional or not, you are always responsible for you and for assertively saying how you feel and how that situation made you feel, how that person made you feel. Now, there's a huge difference, again, between assertiveness and aggressiveness, because if you go and attack a person, I don't think that that's okay. Now, sometimes as humans, we do that and we get caught in our ego when we do attack people, but try to, see it from a loving perspective. And think about it this way, you wouldn't want someone going up to you and saying, well, why did you do this? And when you do this, you made me feel this way. And if you did this different, and if you did this, and if you did this, because you made me feel this, it doesn't feel very loving, does it? And you know what? People are already hurting enough. They already are. We're all hurting. We all have our own issues in our own ways. So going up to someone and blaming them and saying, why did you do this? Why did you do that? This, was not good for you to do. When you come from that perspective, it just triggers them and sets them into kind of like a fear mode, which they're already in. It makes them feel hurt. It makes them feel guilt, which they already feel. And that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is to try to come from a loving perspective, an assertive perspective, where you can say something like this, I would have appreciated it, if you did this. Maybe next time, if we go through a situation like this, we can handle it in this way. Or it will make me feel better if we handle things in this way next time. Or, expressing how you feel. Express how you feel. It's not always about pointing the finger. How does it make you feel? Okay, well, it makes me feel like this when you act in this way. Right? It's a little bit more loving and it's assertive. You still have to, express how you feel. You're always entitled and allowed to say how you feel. But watch how you say things to people, because like I said, we're all already hurting in our own ways. We all are. And the last thing anyone wants to do, the last thing I want to do, is make someone feel worse than they already feel. Because you know what? If someone's lashing out or not being too nice to you, clearly they're not feeling very well about themselves and they're not feeling good. They're likely feeling guilty already. So try to be assertive. Say how you feel. Things will heal a lot more gently if you assertively say how you feel. Instead of attacking and saying you, use I. I feel this or I felt that. I need to express this. And coming from an assertive way. And for the weekend, we have What Do You Desire, which is so funny because this is the same message that Doreen Virtue picked for the weekend as well. Basically, there's times when we feel like we really need guidance and we need a clear-cut answer, black or white, what to do next. Lots of changes going on,